Recently, some set photos of the shooting of Sonic the Hedgehog 2 did the rounds. On it, you can see Sonic's companion Knuckles. This confirms the appearance of the popular character, as there were already some rumors about the echidna last year. One picture even shows Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles at the same time, similar to the shooting of the first Sonic, but his statures. Besides that, a photo proves that actors James Marsden and Tika Sumpter are coming back. Allegedly, there are plans for Aquaman star Jason Momoa to take over the dubbing of Knuckles, but this has not yet been officially confirmed. Paramount's Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is set to be released on April 8, 2022. In June, the shooting of the Mad Max Fury Road prequel around the background story of the young Furiosa will finally start. At a press conference, director George Miller has now revealed how huge the prequel will actually be. The 76-year-old shared a surprise right at the beginning, namely that the blockbuster, like Fury Road, will also be shot in Australia, more precisely in New South Wales. Also present was Gladys Berejiklian, the premier of this Australian state. She informed those present that Mad Max Furiosa will be the biggest production ever shot in Australia. Quite an announcement. After all, Aquaman and Thor: Love and Thunder were also shot down under. In turn, this also means that Furiosa will be much bigger than Fury Road, and not just in terms of production. While Fury Road covers a period of 3 days, Furiosa is expected to span several years. Lead actors Anya Taylor-Joy, Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, and Australian-born Chris Hemsworth will provide the perfect atmosphere in front of the camera, while you cannot probably count on an appearance by Fury Road star Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy as Mad Max should not be entirely dismissed, however, since director Miller has planned further appearances with him, though not in Furiosa. The blockbuster with Anya Taylor-Joy is scheduled for release on June 23, 2023. Following the leaking of growing amounts of information about the upcoming MCU adventure Spider-Man: No Way Home in recent weeks and months, DOC-OCK actor Alfred Molina recently spoke out in an interview with Variety. Unusually, frankly, the meanwhile 67-year-old chatted with the trade magazine about his until then not yet officially confirmed role as DOC-OCK and the multiverse in the film. He's going to play the exact same character as in Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2. Lots of fans will still remember the end when he apparently sacrificed himself in the Hudson River. This is exactly where No Way Home is meant to pick up because, as Molina explains, DOC-OCK actually didn't die in this scene, which is why this scene will be resumed in the new film. In order for this to run smoothly, Molina has to be digitally rejuvenated since between Spider-Man 2 and No Way Home, well, they're almost 15 years apart. Another surprising aspect is the importance of his role in the new MCU film, as it's not going to be just a small appearance by any means. On the one hand, we have a Spider-Man whose identity is known to the whole world, and on the other hand, we have a DOC-OCK who has to deal with the collapse of the multiverse. Especially the latter would be perfect for an introduction of Doctor Strange, who has already been more or less confirmed. This meeting of different worlds is then of course predestined for the various villains, first and foremost DOC-OCK and Electro, who then in turn have to be fought by various Spider-Man. Therefore, Spider-Man: No Way Home can be seen as a sequel to Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2, Mark Webb's The Amazing Spider-Man 2, and John Watts' Spider-Man: Far From Home all at once. Plus, rumors are still circulating that Willem Dafoe will appear as Green Goblin and Charlie Cox as Daredevil. If the side Murphy's Multiverse is to be believed, Jon Favreau will also return as Happy Hogan. That's one of the less surprising pieces of news though. After all, by the end of Far From Home, there's plenty to suggest that he and Aunt May are a couple, not to mention that he makes a pretty good surrogate father for Peter Parker. So, what do you think of these recent developments? Are you looking forward to a more central role for DOC-OCK, or would you have preferred someone else like the Green Goblin to take the spotlight? Feel free to let us know in the comments. Spider-Man: No Way Home will be released in theaters on December 17th, 2021. Underwater action. Once the box office takings quadrupled the budget, it was clear that a second part centered on the 20-meter-long prehistoric shark was inevitable. Since Turtletop is no longer available as director, Ben Wheatley has volunteered to direct the film. In an interview with comicbook.com, he philosophized about having the opportunity to bring action to the screen on an incredibly large scale. Furthermore, he said he wants to make sure that shark fans around the globe get their money's worth. Co-responsible for this is again the well-known producer Lorenzo Di Buenaventura, who shares duties together with Belle Avery and Catherine Zhu-Yong-Ying. The extent to which the book of the same name by Steve Halton will serve as a reference for the Meg 2 is still unclear, but it can be assumed that screenwriters John and Eric Hobo will certainly borrow elements from the 8-part book series. It is also uncertain at this point who else will return to the screen besides Jason Statham. We are eagerly awaiting further news about the Meg 2 and hope that the theatrical release will be announced soon, since shooting will start in 2 months' time. It's no secret that a range of streaming services have benefited from the pandemic. This is in fact also the case for Netflix, which for example got many users through uneventful times just about a year ago with its documentary series Tiger King. In contrast to competitors Amazon Prime, Disney Plus and the like, the almost boundless influx of new customers has now declined drastically as the first quarterly figures from 2021 show. The formerly almost monopolistic provider was able to gain only 4 million new users, which means it missed its actual target of 10 million new customers in quarter one by far. It is slowly but surely becoming apparent that Netflix will no longer be able to reproduce the record figures from last year and is now being left out in the cold due to the lack of top-class productions. While Disney Plus, for example, scores almost weekly with interesting series and movie content, the Californian company is lagging behind the competition in many respects. By way of comparison, Netflix has just about 208 million users worldwide, while Disney, despite its relatively young streaming service, has already cracked the 100 million user mark. As a result, Netflix forecasts for the summer of 2021 are sobering in its quarterly report, and the company has adjusted its high expectations to just 3.2 million new subscribers in coming weeks and months. Besides the recent disappointing series and movie offerings, many users are upset about a price increase in many parts of the world, which is certainly not beneficial for the acquisition of new customers. However, with the launches of The Witcher Season 2, Don't Look Up, Red Notice, and many other top-notch productions, Netflix should be able to report better figures in the second half of the year. What do you think? Are you a Netflix subscriber? And if so, are you satisfied with the service, or are you increasingly preferring the competitors? Feel free to discuss this with us in the comments. Just a few weeks ago, Michael Keaton confused many fans when he told Deadline that he was still unsure about his return on The Flash due to the pandemic. Now, as reported by The Rap magazine, it has been officially confirmed that Keaton will be part of the filming that started on Monday, and as expected, he will be seen in his role as Batman. The story revolves around the protagonist's fateful journey into the past, causing massive consequences for the present. Therefore, we will not only get to see Michael Keaton, but also Ben Affleck as Batman for the last time. DC's The Flash is scheduled for release on November 4th, 2022. In the HBO series Game of Thrones, Emilia Clarke was able to wow the masses with her role as Daenerys Targaryen. As Variety reports, the 34-year-old is now headed to the new Marvel project Secret Invasion, where she will take on an as-of-yet unknown role alongside Olivia Colman, who was also recently signed on. If the rumor turns out to be true, it would be Clarke's first role in the MCU, where she would then join Colman as well as Samuel L. Jackson and Ben Mendelsohn. The content is about Skrulls, which are alien shapeshifters that have infiltrated Earth and assumed the identities of various Marvel heroes. The series is not intended to be quite as big as the comic book, however, and the focus will thus not be on the appearance of as many Marvel characters as possible, but rather on the prevailing paranoid atmosphere. The project is being produced exclusively for Disney Plus and unfortunately does not yet have a fixed release date.